Hey, what's going on, parents? Welcome back to another edition of Teenager Tuesday. Back here with the one and only Letitia Solomon.
Hi, y'all.
That's right. I'm very excited. We're talking today about empowering our students to choose.
Yeah.
Empowering our students to choose. And have you ever been accused of being a helicopter parent?
For sure by my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know that anyone else would necessarily say that. But
Yeah.
you know how kids are always like,
Give me space.
right, give me space, or
Yeah.
nobody else's parents do that.
Yeah.
Well, they don't really know because they don't live in those people's homes.
That's true.
You know,
Yeah,
but
that's
for
true.
sure by my kids.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and so today we just want to give 4 points, 4 kind of quick things on strategies and things that you can do as a parent to help stimulate thinking and
Yeah.
decision making, so that in the long run they have more practice making decisions, small decisions, big decisions, but even before they go to college.
Yeah,
you
which
know?
is so important.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And a lot of this we got from, in fact, pretty much all of this we got from the author and founder of the source, forparents.com, Jonathan McKee.
Yeah.
Jonathan McKee. So if you're looking for, like, I want to
more tools or want to look at this more deeply, you can always get it from there.
Yeah, go online. The source for parents, number 4,
right.
sourceforparents.com. There we go.
Yeah.
So number one, it might seem obvious, but if we're not unintentional, we may skip over it.
Absolutely.
Number 1, stimulate thinking. Parents, look for every opportunity to stimulate thinking versus like taking over and making the decision.
Yeah.
Like, you're taking too long, right? Like, yeah.
I tend to do that. I'm not going to lie.
Like, God, just make the decision. No,
Right.
okay, you're
Just
doing
do it.
this.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
But like simply said, it's just looking for those teaching moments.
Yeah.
You know, because obviously there's some decisions that as a parent you're going to make and you're going to have to make, and something spur of the moment you got to make it quick. But more ways that we can get them thinking, the better and more practice they're going to have to have that. You know, like ask them. You know, they come to you about something going on at school. Maybe you ask them like, how did that make you feel? What might you do? What's something wise? What would you think would be a smart way of handling that?
Yeah.
Instead of right away giving the answer, you know?
No, I think that's really good.
But, you know, obviously this gets a little bit nerve-wracking too on some of the tougher decisions on like, hey, can I go over to Matt's house? And as a parent, you know, Matt
hasn't made the best choices.
No, his parents let him watch whatever movie he wants. Yeah. He's gotten in trouble for weed before.
Different parenting styles than yourself.
Yeah. So you're like, I'm not really sure, like, exactly, like, where's the balance in that? Well, again, I would ask them kind of questions again. The parent asking the student questions again, like, what do you think is the wise decision there? And what would you do if you were the parent? Like, if you were in my shoes,
that's so good.
like, what would you say to you?
Right.
You know, because they might make the right answer anyways.
Yeah. Knowing what you know, and if you knew that as a parent, what would you say?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's really good. I think another thing, number 2, let them make the choice. You know, we get our kids in our home for, you know, around 18 years. I know that there's different situations and circumstances for everybody, but, you know, if we're always, you know, making the choices and the decision for our students, when they come to move out at 18 years old and we're just, all of these decisions fall in their lap and they don't know the right choice or how to make the right choice or how to discern like the things that they should be doing versus the things that they shouldn't be doing, it can be really difficult for them. And oftentimes they can end up making choices that aren't wise. And so
or making no choice.
Or making no choice.
And then they just sit there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And so, you know, it's really great to provide a safe place in our home, kind of in our shadows to help them as we've molded them, as we've helped make them into hopefully who God is creating them to be, like as we've guided them to that they can begin making choices on their own, you know? And I mean, this doesn't mean we let our kids do whatever they want or we don't, you know, we ultimately are like, maybe it's not wise for you to go to Matt's house, to that party, you know? And that's okay for us to say that, but also talking things out so that when they come to that choice and that decision, they can feel confident in, you know, the response that they're having because, you know, they've been guided by us and have helped us. So,
well, and honestly, even sometimes, again, prayerfully discerning, you're the parent, you're going to know whatever.
Yeah.
But like sometimes you can say like, hey, you choose and then let me know later.
Yeah.
Like you choose, let me know how it goes.
Yeah. Let me know, you know, what you decide to choose. Let me know how it worked out for you. You know, especially those situations or those choices that maybe aren't, you know, life altering. You know what I mean?
But maybe not the best still.
Right, but still not the best. But
yeah.
you're still there to help them, guide them, walk through.
Yeah.
You know, with those different things. So,
good.
let them make the choice.
Yeah.
Another number 3, get out of their way. You know, sometimes I know I'm definitely one of these people that I like to you know, helicopter mom situation where I'm like, wait, what are you doing? Why are you choosing that? What's going on?
Yeah.
You know, I'm that person, and so I constantly think that I find myself in my kids' way. But one of the cool things about getting out of their way is, you know, you get to see them fly and soar. There's a difference, I think, in parenting and in the business world, you know, between the word delegation and the word empowerment. Delegation is basically you just telling your student or your kid, you like, hey, this is what I need you to do, and this is how I need you to do it. And empowering is saying, like, hey, this needs to get done however you want to do it. Go find a way, make it happen. You know, and
then you can talk about it after.
Absolutely. You can talk about, you know, the response, the feelings, the choices, you know, just all of those things as you've empowered them. And then they can start seeing maybe the consequences to some of the choices they've made, or maybe just the really great things that come out of a great choice. You know, there was a study done from Rutgers, and the title of the study is this: Freshman Women's Binge Drinking Tied to Sexual Assault Risk. Basically, they did a study on new freshman girls coming straight into their home, into college, and half of them admitted to that first semester binge drinking because in their home, either drinking was completely frowned upon, not allowed, which, I mean, as an 18-year-old, they're obviously not 21. So,
It probably isn't a decision for, you know.
It's a parent. We get it. But this is, you know, a big thing, or they had never been to a party or drank before, anything like that. Well, they went to this college and they binge drank, and over half of them. And, what is even sadder is that a little later on in the study, it tells that 1 in 4 of them were sexually assaulted in that first semester of them being at college. And I just think, like, man, if we teach our kids and empower them with the choices that they make, and that there's good choices and bad choices, and ones that are life altering forever, and some that are like maybe not life altering, but they do need a lot of consideration. And then we talk with them about, you know, the good that's come out of it, about the consequences that come out of it, that can help empower our kids to really soar in life and to fly in life. And so,
that's good.
You know, getting out of their way, helping them, you know, guiding them as they make choices, but also letting them do it too.
Well, and like you said, sometimes, like, you want to see your kids soar, but in life, sometimes it's inevitable to crash.
Absolutely.
So why not? A great time for them to crash is when you're still next to them to catch them.
Under your wing, absolutely.
That you can still catch
so
them.
Good.
So, like, those smaller decisions sooner, gosh, that's so much better.
And helping them, even teaching them how to recover from a decision that wasn't the best. You know? Because even that can be hard, and picking themselves up, and also remembering, like, you know, just as a Christ follower, that we don't have to live in guilt and shame and condemnation that the enemy wants to trick us, you know, and say, well, you're a terrible person because of this. No, we get to live a life filled with grace, and we get to get right back up and start walking on that path that God's continually calling us to.
Last thing, real quick, this is pretty simple, but again, it's kind of one of those, like, maybe unintentionally I don't do this, because intentionally we all want to do this, right? So, like, when you notice something they did right, celebrate it. Verbally notice something they did right.
That's so good.
It might be pretty hard if they, like, get in a car accident and you're like, well, you drove most of the way great. Like, maybe not something like that, but, you know, if you have some rules set up, be home by midnight, and they come home before midnight, man, from time to time, be like, hey, I just want to say thank you for, I noticed you did come home at this time. I just want to say thank you.
I'm recognizing that you're making some great choices.
Like, who knows who said it first, but what gets celebrated gets repeated. So, man, celebrate the good decisions that they make.
I love that. I think that's so good and so crucial as we parent teenagers.
Come on. So, you want to sign off for us?
Signing off to today, we just want to say, you can do this. You're not alone. God is with you, and so are we.
That's right.
Bye, y'all.